emotion. You don't have to worry about emotion there, you just have to remember things. Right? This process requires going through pain. This process allows you to avoid pain.
See, with going into fear, and for me, putting the time and stuff, you know, and I'm frequently in the middle of the night, you know, up feeling fear.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get some relief and I feel like I've gone through some, and then I can go back to sleep and have some peace. And other times I don't feel like I can get to that point. But that to me is something, you see, or I can just lie in bed and thinking, oh, I just wish I could just go to sleep. But to me it seems, and sometimes I liken it.
But can I suggest to you, Paul, you don't want to surrender to anger. And you've got quite a lot of it to feel. You don't want to feel it, right? And you definitely don't like surrendering to grief, right? And you definitely don't like surrendering to shame. And I could probably list another 10 or 15 emotions that I know you don't like feeling. Now, while your will is exercised in trying to shut those emotions down, will surrender ever occur? No matter how much you get up in the middle of the night and just try to feel. So I suggest you're using your willpower.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your will isn't set yet because you've not let go of the reasons why you don't want to do it. Can everyone see that? It's like, for most of you, you're yet to let go of the reasons why you don't want to do it. You think you want to do it, so you're going to force yourself to do it. Does that make sense to you? This is what you're doing. You think you want to do it, so you're going to force yourself to do it. Whereas my focus has been, why don't I want to do it? Because it'll happen naturally if I want to do it. The fear will come up naturally, as it did for myself, when I wanted to do it. When in my emotions I wanted to do it. That's when it came up. Didn't come up before then. I was in complete denial of it for years and years and years. Now, and you can't force yourself to do it. You have to want to do it. And that's about developing the aspiration and working through all the reasons why you don't want to do it. And that's what I see the majority of you don't want to do. You don't want to work through the don't want to. Does that make sense? You're telling yourself you want to, but you don't want to. And you're better off feeling why you don't want to, because every feeling that you have that you don't want to will get released if you feel it, and the less feelings of don't want to that are in you will cause you to eventually do it. Do you see? So it's sort of like the way I see it for the majority of you, and this is how I see it for yourself, Paul, is that you sort of, if you imagine this is a container, and this is your don't want to container. Don't do it. That's your don't do it container, okay? Other way around. That's your don't do it container. And your don't do it container is full of different emotions that just say don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Right? Now, while the don't do it container is full, and the do it container, here's the do it container, is quite low, you know, you've got a bit of faith, that's good. You feel like you've learnt enough about the truth now to think you want to do it, so your thoughts, so you've got some faith, but it's not strong enough yet to overcome the don't do it, and you've got some thoughts about doing it, but still not strong enough to overcome don't do it. Can you see it's not going to happen? The only way it's going to happen, isn't it, is that if each of these don't do it emotions start to get released, while at the same time you build this with other things, truth, action, and so forth, right? Now, can you see, for the majority of you, you've been trying to build that while at the same time holding on to this and not releasing it. And that's what you've been doing, Paul.